This is the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show with your hosts Maurice, Patton, and Wade Neely. Proudly presented each week by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans, don't let fans drive drunk.
Hey, welcome into the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show. I'm Maurice Patton. That's Wade Neely. We are presented by 10 Pin Alley, Eat, Play, Party, and by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans, don't let fans drive drunk. Next up, Chattanooga. The BlueCross Bowl state championship games take place this week, beginning tomorrow with 3 games in Division II. Friday will continue with Division I classes 3A, 1A, and 5A, and wrap up on Saturday with classes 2A, 4A, and 6A. Our focus here over the next bit will be on Division 2A. The 2 o'clock Central Time game on Thursday as Columbia Academy takes on Nashville Christian in a rematch from earlier this year. And again, we'll be talking more about that later in the show. But Wade, one thing that we do need to get in before we turn our focus to Chattanooga and the BlueCross Bowl championships. The 17th annual TACA East-West All-Star Classic is set for December 14th. So there's more high school football out there. If you can't get enough, run up to Clarksville to Austin Peay's Forterra Stadium a week from Saturday. East-West All-Star game. We will have All-Star Classic, excuse me. We got a couple of players involved in that game. Columbia Central defensive lineman Jaravius Hall, who signed earlier today with Indiana University. He's a Hoosier now. And Summit's Mekhi Bell, also a defensive lineman. Both will be playing for the West team. And one of the assistants on that West team is Summertown's Dan Winfrey. Little reward for him after a nice season. So good for him. An East assistant, former Independence coach Scott Stidham, who is now in the portal.
He's available.
He is available, yes. So he's looking for that NIL. So somebody hook him up.
He's working on that. And a couple Giles County kids in that mix as well. I know they got eliminated a couple weeks ago, but Caden Reinhardt as well as Ja'Kiah Inglet, 2 good seniors for Giles County that really kind of set the tone. This was a young squad, but they were really some road graders for GCHS. I wanted to give them a little buzz as well.
You know, I did not realize Ja'Kiah was that big. 6'2", 240, is that right?
Played everywhere for Giles County. Played tight end, played H-back, played running back, played fullback. He was the ultimate Swiss Army knife for Giles County at times this year.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I'm glad you picked up on that because I scanned right over top of that. They will both be playing for the East team as well. I got to get a good look at the Tennessee map.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this.
How the geography breaks down.
Yeah. So, but yeah, congratulations to all those folks. Again, they've got one final game in their high school helmets. Anyway, they typically provide jerseys and everything else, but it's a lot of fun, man. I've been up there the last few years. Central had Jordan Davis in it last year, had Q Martin in it a couple of years before that. And it's fun to see those guys one last time. Let's take a break. Come back right here on the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show presented by 10 Pin Alley and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office after this.
Hello, I'm Rick Whitley.
And I'm Daniel Pollard from Jones & Lang Sporting Goods. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the many years of support. Since 1966, Jones & Lang has been locally owned and operated and supplying teams from T-ball to college. Stop by and see what we can do for you. We offer a wide variety of services from silk screening and embroidery to our custom trophy and awards department.
We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to noon. Remember, Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Welcome to JHA Company, your trusted scholastic partner. We continue to serve schools with yearbooks, letter jackets, and graduation regalia. But now we offer so much more. Our school photography division offers high-quality images that capture the spirit and energy of your students and staff. Let us help build your identity, creating a cohesive look that represents your school's values and traditions. Our e-commerce solutions make it easy for schools to manage and sell their branded apparel online. Let's work together to make every school year unforgettable. Visit our website or contact us today to learn more. JHA Company, celebrating achievements, building identities, and creating memories.
Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do. Do you want to taste sweet salvation underneath the summer moon? Do you need another hand now? Yes, you do. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. All right, Columbus Avenue.
He shoots, and he scores!
Welcome back into the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show presented by 10 Pin Alley Eat, Play, Party, and by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. That's Wade Neely. I'm Maurice Patton. Playing a little catch up right now. We did not do a show prior to Thanksgiving, and so we kind of missed Richland's departure from the postseason as they traveled over to McKenzie in the Class 1A state quarterfinals and dropped a tough one. No real way around it. 55-7 the final there as McKenzie rolls into the state semifinals where they were dispatched by Mace. But Richland, fantastic season, ran into a buzzsaw.
Yeah, no other way to say it, Mo, because, they go 9-4. Richland started the year off with a loss to Lincoln County, a really good 5A team, had a little bit of a lull in mid-October with 2 losses, but they righted the ship. They got 3 straight wins, winning the region championship on the final night of the regular season, and then posting 2 straight playoff victories at home, shutting out West Carroll and McEwen. But you are correct. They ran into a buzzsaw. McKenzie did what McKenzie did to a lot of teams this year, and that is just rely on their Mr. Football finalist, Tate Serber. He finished 22 of 25 passing in that game for nearly 300 yards. He had 5 passing touchdowns. He had a rushing touchdown just for fun, 14 carries and 76 yards on the ground. But Richland did not play as bad as the final score might indicate. But once they got behind by multiple scores, having to chase the game as much as they were, it was really kind of they were up against it in that sense. So they got nothing to hang their heads about because they had a great year, number one, but they also lost to a really good team on the road.
Yeah, and I mean, for Richland, advancing to the state quarterfinals is quite an accomplishment given where that program's been. You know, when you start looking at their 2024 resume, region championship, state quarterfinals, close to a 2,000-yard passer, if not a 2,000-yard passer. I don't have the stats right in front of me. But, I mean, that program under Nick Patterson did some things that they had never done before. And, you know, to your point, they got nothing to hang their heads over. I mean, they've done some things that they have every reason to be proud of, you know. And this will be the stuff of class reunions and different stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, and when we talked about it during the broadcast as we were signing off from McKenzie, is now the bar has kind of been raised a little bit at Richland. They've got a really good underclass or class that's coming back, I should say, especially on their defense. You might see a little bit of a different version of this Richland team next year under Nick Patterson, who is a defensive guy. You know, he likes to grind it out. His defense could be the calling card next year, but they still have a lot of weapons returning. You hate for those seniors to go out in a losing effort, but you have elevated the bar as far as what is possible at Richland. And this is a program, you know, that a decade ago there were discussions about should Richland even keep playing football. I mean, talk about how quickly things can turn. They have now advanced to the quarterfinals, and who knows what's on the horizon for this program. But job well done by Coach Patterson and all those hardworking Raiders this year.
Absolutely. Gives you something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As we mentioned earlier, we do still have one team playing. Columbia Academy, on the same night that Richland was eliminated, put up its third running clock victory of the postseason, defeating Donaldson Christian 47-13. And, you know, as opposed to their first two games in the playoffs, this one got off to a little bit of a rough start for the Bulldogs. DCA scored first. They led 7-0. They led 13-7. And then it was like Columbia Academy kind of woke up and ran off, 40 straight points. Just kind of like you said about McKenzie, kind of doing what Columbia Academy has done here over the past 5 weeks. They take a 5-game win streak into this state championship game on Thursday. And, you know, they've been clicking on all cylinders, both offensively and defensively. Jackson Usherwood with 3 interceptions in that DCA win. He returned 1 for a touchdown, and he pulled a Amari Cooper with the other one, lateraling it to
beautiful
to Harrison Brownlee for 38 yards and another touchdown. I mean, once they got going, DCA really kind of felt powerless to stop them, and they are heading into Chattanooga with a lot of momentum, really.
Yeah, this was another, albeit, you know, like you said, a little scary to start, but another workmanlike performance. I mean, you blank a team for the final 3 quarters in the postseason, that's going to give you a great shot to win the game. And they didn't just win it; they throttled DCA. I was very impressed. This was one, you know, we were keeping tabs on it during our broadcast, and we're like, "Ooh, this is getting a little close," or "Ooh, this is looking a little scary for the Bulldogs here." But no, not to be denied. Impressive win for them. They come in to the BlueCross Bowl on a bit of a hot streak, and they have revenge on their mind. But that is a great way to kind of come cruising in and get into the state championship game, getting to practice. You know, saw you were there at Thanksgiving, getting to practice on Thanksgiving. That's a badge of honor for a lot of teams, but it's really special for the teams that have not been able to do so. And they should celebrate that win. They have hopefully celebrated that win plenty, and now it's time to get back to work coming up for this game tomorrow.
Absolutely. And, you know, Seth Anderson has said, you know, here over the past few weeks, basically since that loss to Nashville Christian back in week 8, this team has practiced really, really well. They've practiced with a purpose. They've practiced with a focus. And, you know, that's what we've seen here through this playoff run that started with a 49-8 win over the Kings Academy, continue with a 56-21 win over Trinity Christian, both at home.
Yeah.
They played all 3 of their games at home. This will be the first time they've traveled since the regular season finale against Grace Christian, if you call that traveling.
I mean, technically,
it was not on their home field, so
Yeah.
I guess, but, you know, and again, we will talk more about this game and this team as we progress. I guess we can go ahead and get into it a little bit now as we look at our updated stats coming out of those 2 games from a couple of weeks ago. Let's start with our offensive rushing leaders, as Monte Baldwin, Columbia Academy's senior running back. It's going to be tough for him to not go over 2,000 yards against Nashville Christian, although I'm sure Jeff Brothers will kind of have that circle. 1,967 yards through 13 games, 23 touchdowns for him. And, you know, he broke an 81-yarder on his final carry against DCA to go over 200, finished that game with 209 on 26 carries, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he is literally a threat to go the distance from anywhere on the field.
Yeah, home run hitter, but he can also carry high volume, right? I mean, 26 carries, over 200 yards, but can also pop one for 81 yards. He's a complete package in the backfield for CA.
Yeah. Richland's leading rusher wound up being Nash Petty, 851 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns. Nice season there. Typically you might expect Richland to have a 1,000-yard rusher, but again, they've got a 2,000-yard passer.
That, and they had a couple of good backs as well. Luke Eastlick, who did not carry as many times down the stretch, but also Andrew Huff. They had kind of an embarrassment of riches in terms of their backfield options, but Petty was by far the most explosive and I guess effective of those three for sure.
Certainly the most productive.
Yeah.
Our passing leaders, again, Blaine Woodard, 2,108 passing yards, 19 touchdowns in 13 games, completed roughly 2/3 of his passes. Fantastic season for him. I would imagine those are numbers, and we've said this all year, so forgive me for being repetitive and redundant, but I would think that those are numbers that have not been seen in Linville and might not be seen again.
Yeah, they've had some good quarterbacks and they've had some good teams, but they've never had a quarterback with a scheme quite like they had this year. And Blaine Woodard, it was the real deal for Richland. Had a rough night against McKenzie, but guess what? A lot of teams had rough nights versus McKenzie this season. So he had a fantastic year. It was a lot of fun covering him. It was a lot of fun watching him kind of thrive in his first year as the starting quarterback. He departs as one of the great all-time passers in school history.
Yeah, certainly not going to ding him for having a tough game against McKenzie. Yeah. Our receiving, before we leave passing, Stephen Neves heads into this Nashville Christian game, knocking on the door 2,000 yards as well, 1,885 passing yards, 23 touchdowns. Again, accurate and effective, 121 completions and 197 attempts. So, those are some guys putting up some more than solid numbers at the high school level right there.
Yeah, fantastic efforts by a lot of these folks. And, we mentioned this. Once the playoffs get in, only a few can kind of start adding to these totals. We've had a great list all season long, though.
We really have, yeah. And, when you talk about the numbers that Blaine Woodard put up, he had to throw it to somebody. Jake Sands, 74 catches, 1,086 yards, 8 touchdowns. They really spread the ball around down there, but when they were looking for the big ball, it was typically Sands coming up with it.
Yeah, lone touchdown for Richland in McKenzie's loss was a 39-yarder from Sands. He goes over 125 yards receiving that night. He was the big play threat. They had a couple other great pass catchers this year, but he was the guy that really stretched the defense when they needed him to.
Harrison Brownlee, 60 catches, 851 yards, 11 touchdowns for Columbia Academy, leading the way for them in the passing game. But sophomore Wyatt Ayers, as Neves described earlier in the year, he likes to take the top off of the defense. 25 catches, 559 yards. That's a 22.4 yard average per reception, which is tops among all of those guys up there on the screen. A respectable 7 touchdowns as well. So, and we'll talk more about this, as the show continues, but as Nashville Christian boasts, one of the top quarterback prospects in the country, Brownlee and Ayers give that Nashville Christian defense a little something to be concerned with on the perimeter, with Neves slinging it around.
Absolutely. Baldwin is going to get all the attention, but the moment you kind of let your guard down there, Neves has shown all year long he's a capable passer. And then both Ayers and Brownlee have shown that they are capable receivers. It is kind of a complete package in terms of offense for CA.
It really is. And, that's something that they've got to be able to do. They've got to be able to stay balanced and, keep Nashville Christian from focusing on either aspect offensively. And they got to stay on the field a little bit. That might be one of the better defenses against Jerry Curtis. If he ain't got the ball, he can't hurt you.
Yeah, if you can shorten that game, keep the ball out of his hands, it seems like the winning recipe. You don't necessarily want to go seeking a shootout with that guy because he is explosive, and it's going to be fun to break that one down because I could see that game going a number of different ways in terms of styles and how either team wants to approach it. So it will be fun. It will be explosive, and CA is worthy of being there. Obviously, Nashville Christian as well. I think we've got the two best teams in that classification locked in.
Your Swiss Army knife, Ja'Kiah Inglet, finished with 31 catches for 433 yards, 3 touchdowns. Solid performance for him, especially doing as much as he did for this team over the course of this season.
Yeah, heck of a, he transferred from Loretto 2 years ago, a heck of a short career as a Bobcat. And this year he was asked to do a lot of different things to that point. He was the quarterback's best friend, right? I mean, the tight end bailed him out, the young quarterback Xavier Randolph, on a number of different occasions and allowed him to develop confidence throwing the ball downfield because he could rely on Inglet to go up and make a snag here, a snag there. So Ja'Kiah was a great Bobcat. It was a lot of fun to cover him. He even got some great run on defense when they needed him. He really did it all for GCHS.
You got to have a security blanket when you're a young quarterback, and it sounds
he was
like
a great
Inglet
one.
was that. There we go. When we come back to the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show, we are going to bring you a video press conference from last week that involved both Columbia Academy and Nashville Christian, and they talk about this upcoming matchup. So stay tuned here on the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show, presented by 10 Pin Alley and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Hello, I'm Rick Whitley.
And I'm Daniel Pollard from Jones & Lang Sporting Goods. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the many years of support. Since 1966, Jones & Lang has been locally owned and operated and supplying teams from T-ball to college. Stop by and see what we can do for you. We offer a wide variety of services from silk screening and embroidery to our custom trophy and awards department.
We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to noon. Remember, Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Welcome to JHA Company, your trusted scholastic partner. We continue to serve schools with yearbooks, letter jackets, and graduation regalia. But now we offer so much more. Our school photography division offers high-quality images that capture the spirit and energy of your students and staff. Let us help build your identity, creating a cohesive look that represents your school's values and traditions. Our e-commerce solutions make it easy for schools to manage and sell their branded apparel online. Let's work together to make every school year unforgettable. Visit our website or contact us today to learn more. JHA Company, celebrating achievements, building identities, and creating memories.
Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do. Do you want to taste sweet salvation underneath the summer moon? Do you need another hand now? Yes, you do. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. All right, Columbus Avenue.
He shoots, and he scores!
Okay, thank you everybody for joining us. This is our press availability for Division II Class A BlueCross Bowl championship game between Nashville Christian, who enters the game with a record of 11-1, and Columbia Academy, who enters the game with a record of 10-3. Nashville Christian will be the home team in that game, which will take place on Thursday, December 5th at 3 p.m. in Chattanooga. We'll introduce with head coach with Nashville Christian, Coach Jeff Brothers. Along with him, he has Jared Curtis available for players, and then Coach Seth Anderson from Columbia Academy, along with him, Monte Baldwin and Harrison Brownlee. Welcome to all of you, and thank you for taking time out of your morning to be here. Maurice, I believe, has an opening question for the gentleman there at Columbia Academy. Go ahead, Maurice.
Yeah, Seth, how, it's obviously exciting that you guys are going to the state championship game for the first time in the program's history and that kind of thing, and a lot of excitement around the program right now. How do you, for lack of a better phrase, defend against that? You guys still have a game left to play. I mean, how do you get everybody refocused on it's not just about getting here, it's about getting things done once you get here?
Yeah, in order to win it, you got to get there first, and being one of the final two teams to get there, you have that chance. Now we know it's going to be tough. We know Nashville Christian's a great team. Coach Brothers does a great job. Got a great staff, great players. So we got our work cut out. But I think every team that is playing in Chattanooga next week believes that they can win it, and I don't think you'd want it any other way. So we're just taking it, one day at a time, just trying to get better today, be better today than we were yesterday, and just try to stack days on top of each other, and just really enjoying the moment.
For the players, obviously, again, this is a huge step, and you've seen these guys once. How do you get yourselves refocused from this past Friday to get ready for next Thursday and the challenge that those guys present, and not just be happy just to be there?
Honestly, I don't think it's very hard. I mean, they came in here on our field and beat us pretty bad. So that's a lot of motivation for us. For me, honestly, it comes easy. I don't want to step on the field and just be happy to be there ever. I want to win every time I step on the field.
Yeah, like Harrison said, it's not hard at all. I mean, who plays a game just to get there? Everybody wants to play to win. So it's really not that hard for us. I mean, it's just going out there and finish and getting unfinished business done.
I think we have Coach Brothers back now. Can you hear us this time?
Yeah. Hey, Coach Anderson, I want y'all to repeat all of that so I can hear it. I don't know what it was.
Coach, you just laid out the game plan, man.
You just missed it. Just missed it. No, sorry. I know you had some technical issues. Technology is great so many times, but we always have our issues with it as well. Coach Brothers, going back to you, Coach Anderson kind of gave a opening statement, if you can as well. Just tell us a little bit about your team this year and what it means for you guys to be playing in this year's BlueCross Bowl.
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate y'all asking us to be part of this press conference. And of course, we're excited. I'm sure Coach Anderson said the same thing. We're just excited to keep playing football. Practicing during Thanksgiving week is always a special thing. And I know for those guys, I think this is coaching this the first time for y'all. So I know it's super exciting for them. I know they're going to be, eager to get going and get to practicing and enjoy the moment. Coach, I'd tell you just slow it down as much as you can because it goes fast. And, we're excited to be back in it again. Our guys are, equally excited and ready to get going. But, we've been there a couple of times lately and haven't gotten it done. So I think the challenge for us certainly is to go back and play better. And we're going to be playing a great team with a great group of guys and coached well. And we're going to have to take the next couple of weeks to get ready. It's going to be a big challenge.
Thank you, Coach. And then for Jared, and then we'll go to Monte and Harrison as well. Jared, what for you and your teammates, what's it mean for you guys finishing playing in the championship game? What's the buzz around school and the community? How excited is everybody?
Yes, sir. We're looking forward to it. I've been there my freshman year and didn't get it done. So a lot of the guys have been on the team since then. We brought in some new guys, and we all been working towards a common goal for a long time now. And we just want to go over there and take it day by day, play by play, and hopefully get it done.
Great. Monte and Harrison, same questions for you guys.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Well, just how excited are you and your teammates about getting there this year? Like you said earlier, it's first trip, and then there's a lot of buzz around school and the team community and things like that.
Yeah, it's really exciting. we've been talking about it for a long time, honestly, since I came here in 8th grade. We said if we don't make it to state or we stay with this group, we're doing something wrong. So it was kind of expected, but it's really exciting because of course we haven't done it before. And I mean, all our classmates and people around the town are really happy for us and really excited to go watch us play. It's been a blessing.
It means a lot to me, and to my teams, my brother. I've been here since freshman year, and it's never been a team that get close to it. So I mean, for all me knowing that freshman year I came here for a reason, I'm gonna stay in Winterford, and I'm actually going to stay. It means a lot in the community. I mean, every day I have people coming up to me talking about going to state. So I mean, it's a big thing to our community.
Great. Thank you, guys. And Maurice has a question for Coach Brothers. Go ahead, Maurice.
Jeff, I think it was week 8 that you guys went down to CA and handled them pretty handily. Jared had a great game, obviously. How easy, how hard is it to get your guys to kind of flush that game and not take anything for granted come Thursday?
Yeah, thanks, Maurice, for bringing all that back up to the forefront, and so it gives them a little motivation to.
Somehow, I don't think they've forgotten, Coach.
This guy.
Softball. Starting with the softball, man. No, look, you can go back to the old adage of it's hard to beat a good team twice in the same year, and it just depends on perspective. I mean, we had a good night that night, but you can't fight the last battle. You got to get ready for new circumstances, new adversities, new challenges that I know they're going to present. I missed the first question that you asked them about what new formations they put in, so if y'all could repeat that, that'd be good. But our guys, one thing I do appreciate about our team is that we practice really well all year long. Kind of had the mindset that the opponent is nameless and faceless. We just got to go be the best football team we can be every day, day by day. And so we're gonna, go about this like it's a brand new challenge, a brand new game, a brand new team. There's some familiarity just because we were on the field with them a few weeks ago, but we can't just expect a repeat. From start to finish, we got to go do our job, take care of the football, be fundamental, all the things I know they're preaching as well.
Jared, you guys.
Go ahead, Maurice.
Jared, you guys have won 9 straight games, I believe. What is it that you feel like is the common thread through those 9 games? What is it that you all have been doing well over this run?
Like Coach said, it starts with practicing film, getting to know the other team and studying them all week, and then going out there Friday and taking it play-by-play, and just working hard each week, each day, and going in there as a team and getting it done.
All right, Tyler Palmetier has a question for Coach Brothers and Jared. Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, I'll start with Jeff. How good was it for Jared to have that experience as a freshman, not just for how it could maybe benefit the team this season, but just as far as his whole development, getting a start at a young age, playing in a big game like that?
Yeah, obviously it was very beneficial for the growth process. I mean, heck, Monte's been playing since he was in 4th grade at Columbia Academy, I think it seems like. So he's got the same kind of experience. But, I think it was good for Jared. The thing about his experience as a freshman was that the talent was obviously there, and he just needed the experience level. And he was surrounded by a group of seniors that kind of calmed the waters for him back in those years and that time that we got there. But I think in the time since, he's really worked on his own personal development, not only on the field, but the leadership, being in the huddle, being in the locker room, kind of from the shoulders up is kind of where the most growth has happened, I'd say, over the last 12 months. I think you would probably agree with that as well. And then just the continual work he does on his craft. I mean, nobody on the team works harder than he does, cares more than he does, practices better than he does. And have a guy with that much talent to put that much effort into it is contagious, and I think our guys are picking up on that.
Yeah, and Jared, it's kind of the same topic. That game seems like forever ago, but I think it was that I remember it coming down to the wire. It was pretty close. Was that a good experience for you to be in that big of a moment as a shoot? How old were you? I guess 14, 15?
No, 15, I think. 15, I think. No, it wasn't. wasn't a great moment because we lost. I wish we could have won, but it was.
Well, not great moment.
What was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Just, I mean, what did it feel like as far as, was it a good experience from the standpoint of you were in a tough situation you kind of got to learn from?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. You know, I was young and I got a little let the pressure get to me, and you know, I just try not to let that happen as much. But wish we would have came out with that win. But you know, got this year next.
How are you feeling this week, maybe compared to a couple of years ago? Do you feel like maybe a different sense of confidence when you're walking around, or just kind of leading up to the game?
I'd say if we go out there and practice like we've been practicing and play like we've been playing, then we'll have a good shot. But you know, we can't go out there assuming that we're going to win. You know, just take it play by play.
All right, thanks, guys.
Russell, we'll go to you with questions for Coach Brothers and Jared. Go ahead, Russell.
I'll start with Jared. It seems like right now is the best that you've ever played. I know you've had a great career so far, but you know, what this season has helped you continue to elevate your game and continue to take it to another level, even when you were already having a lot of success?
I'd say a lot of freshman and sophomore year. I would just try to score a touchdown every play. Coach Brothers got into me a lot on that. So, you know, I'd say this year just taking what the defense gives me and, you know, short routes until the long ball opens up. And we got a great running back in, so that helps relieve the pressure off me some. And, you know, yeah.
And Jeff, for you, as Jared's continued his development, it sounds like some maturity, some of that has been part of it, but what have you seen from him that's allowed him to get to where he is now?
Repeat the last part of that question, please. You went out on me.
Oh, yeah, just what has helped him get to where he is now, to where seems like he's really comfortable in playing at a peak level?
Well, humility, patience, and hard work. And that is rare, I think, these days with guys that have some natural talent. And, you know, he's got good size, great arm, but I think the humility to know that there's a lot to learn, the desire to improve every day and to work hard and to listen. You know, I certainly, as Coach would say too, I want my quarterback to be a confident guy, but at the same time to be willing to listen and learn and take experiences, grow from them. You know, to watch him be able to do that over the years. Usually you get a quarterback for a year or two. And now Jared's in his third year and still just a junior. So that experience is kind of priceless, really, because he's been in those moments. He's been in those situations and had success. He's been in those situations and come up short. And so he's the sort of the sum of all of that experience at this point, and still room to grow. And I think he knows that, and I think he's willing to go to work every day and get better.
All right, Harrison Campbell has a question for Columbia Academy. Go ahead, Harrison.
Yeah, for you, Seth, what is kind of the balance of looking at that regular season matchup you guys had against Nashville Christian for areas to improve, but also maybe not reading too much into it, knowing both teams have seen changes over the past 5 or so weeks?
Yeah, you know, we've played against Nashville Christian for several years now. Coach Brothers, like I said, has a great program. He's had a great program for years. So we know anytime you step on the field with any Nashville Christian team, it's going to be tough. You know, we're a different team than what we were week 8. I believe we're a different team than what we were week 8. So I mean, you can draw something from it, but you know, at the end of the day, they've developed and progressed more just like we have. So it's going to be a new game. You know, next week against 2 really good teams. So they're well coached, great staff, great players. So we're definitely going to have our work cut out for us.
Yeah, and for Harrison and Monte, you guys will be playing in the stadium. Have you ever experienced an atmosphere like that? And I guess, what are you expecting out of it?
You were breaking up a little bit. I'm sorry.
You're good. I was saying, playing in the stadium, have you guys ever experienced an atmosphere like that? And what are you expecting out of it?
I mean, I played in the Titans stadium when I was little. Does that count?
That counts.
No, yeah, it's huge. It's really exciting. I haven't really thought much about it. I've been more focused on like the game, but obviously, like, playing in a college stadium. Not a lot of people get that opportunity, even in high school. Well, only a select few who are going to state. It's a blessing. It's really exciting.
To me, it's a blessing. I've never been in something that big, and I mean, I plan on going farther than just that. But it'll definitely be a door open to the rest of my future.
Thanks, guys.
You guys, back to Maurice has a question for both coaches. Go ahead, Maurice.
Jeff, going back to that CA game, I know you're trying to kind of gloss over the top of that, and I get it. But, Jared had 8 carries for 75 yards in that ball game. It feels like a lot of times the best plays for you all offensively are ones that aren't called, that are a little off schedule. I mean, how much pressure do you feel like that puts on a defense, his ability to pull it down even in passing situations and run the ball?
I mean, obviously something you have to prepare for as a defensive coordinator, the opportunities that Jared has to extend plays and do things like that. I think what is, most exciting for us is that we have a solid group of receivers all the way across. We have a really talented running back behind Jared, and so we can stay pretty balanced. And it makes it, I think, harder on coordinators to figure out where to focus their efforts. And then, like you said, the ability for Jared to, move around in the pocket, move around out of the pocket, make some throws kind of off platform, as the saying goes these days, and extend plays. Certainly adds another dynamic dimension to our offense as well. There are a lot of times I'm like, what's he doing? What's he doing? And then I'm like, okay, keep going. So, it's exciting. I'll say that. It's not always scripted, but sometimes those are when the big plays happen. So you have to let go of the reins a little bit and let them play.
And Seth, for you and your defense, again, I'm not going to say how easy or how hard is it to defend, but how do you approach that running ability on Jarrett's part, and what does that do to your defense?
It forces you to stay disciplined. You have to stay disciplined. You have to do your job. Because once again, if you put too much attention to defending the pass game, then he'll make you pay with his legs. Like Coach Brothers said, they got a great running back. So they're a very balanced team with a lot of weapons. So it's all about discipline for us and making sure that we can try to put ourselves in a position to be successful by knowing our assignments and then executing.
All right. Last call for any other questions from members of the media. Okay, Tyler, got a question for Jared. Go ahead, Tyler.
Hey, Jared, not related to the game, but are you planning on taking any more recruiting visits this fall?
I'm going to Alabama this weekend. Iron Bowl.
Iron Bowl. It's going to be a great spot to be. Do you since you've reopened your recruitment, who are you rooting for to win the national championship?
Vanderbilt.
There you go. Go Doors.
There you go. Why? Why Vanderbilt?
I was trying to get my crystal ball.
No, I don't really know. I don't even know. I don't know who would be the best team right now. I don't know. I don't have a clue. I don't really watch a lot of it, but I don't have a clue.
All right, thanks, man.
Jeff, how much did you pay him to say that?
I owe him a milkshake, I guess, after this, maybe.
All right. Anybody else? Last call for media questions. If not, Coach Brothers and Jared, thank you both very much. Coach Anderson, Monte, Harrison, thank you all for joining us this morning. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Best of luck to all of you. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and we will see you in Chattanooga next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Thanks, guys.
Hello, I'm Rick Whitley.
And I'm Daniel Pollard from Jones & Lang Sporting Goods. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the many years of support. Since 1966, Jones & Lang has been locally owned and operated and supplying teams from T-ball to college. Stop by and see what we can do for you. We offer a wide variety of services from silk screening and embroidery to our custom trophy and awards department.
We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to noon. Remember, Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Welcome to JHA Company, your trusted scholastic partner. We continue to serve schools with yearbooks, letter jackets, and graduation regalia. But now we offer so much more. Our school photography division offers high-quality images that capture the spirit and energy of your students and staff. Let us help build your identity, creating a cohesive look that represents your school's values and traditions. Our e-commerce solutions make it easy for schools to manage and sell their branded apparel online. Let's work together to make every school year unforgettable. Visit our website or contact us today to learn more. JHA Company, celebrating achievements, building identities, and creating memories.
Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do. Do you want to taste sweet salvation underneath the summer moon? Do you need another hand now? Yes, you do. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. All right, Columbus Avenue.
He shoots and he scores!
Hey, welcome back into the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show presented by 10 Pin Alley, Eat, Play, Party, and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. I'm Maurice Patton. That's Wade Neely. We just heard from the Nashville Christian contingent of veteran coach Jeff Brothers and junior quarterback Jared Curtis. We heard from Columbia Academy coach Seth Anderson, wide receiver / linebacker / safety Harrison Brownlee, and running back Monte Baldwin. And I can tell you all three of those guys will have their fingerprints on this ball game that kicks off at 2:00 Central Time tomorrow down at Finley Stadium in Chattanooga.
I am excited for this game. I think the Thursday slate by and large is a great one, but I think this could be one of the more compelling games, especially because, you know, Columbia Academy kind of in uncharted territory, but they don't feel like a team that's making their first ever trip to the big dance. They feel like a team, especially with those inspired performances the last couple of weeks of the regular season and the first 3 games, obviously, in the postseason. They kind of feel like they've been about their business these last 5 games since the loss, as we mentioned earlier in the show, back on October 11th. And it's kind of rubber meets the road time when this game kicks off tomorrow.
Right. And, you know, as you heard in the press conference, Jeff Brothers kind of wanted to put that 45-7 win to rest. And as the coach of the winning team, you can understand that. But at the same time, I feel like Columbia Academy has gotten a lot of fuel out of that ball game. I think somebody used the phrase "got embarrassed." And so, you know, how you go about your business coming out of that ball game, how you go about your business coming into this ball game, because you don't want to get embarrassed again.
No, and to your point with Coach Brothers, I love the way you kind of gently guided him on got him with some of those questions there during the conference, because you're right. I mean, if you're the team that won this game so decisively earlier in the year, that's the last thing you want to do is bring that game up, right? You just want to forget about that game. You know, that was so long ago. We're a different team.
It's tough to beat a good team.
Yeah,
twice.
tough to beat empty the cliche book. If you're Columbia Academy, meanwhile,
you might have just 45-7 up on the wall.
You've got it clipped out. You have it laminated. You've gone to mainstreetmurray.com. It's your homepage on your web browser. I mean, you're doing everything to get the team kind of motivated. So that's the kind of the two dichotomies coming into this game. And the fact that it wasn't, week one, the fact that it was relatively recent, I think, is kind of intriguing to me as well in this matchup.
Plenty of fuel out there for Columbia Academy. As you said, we went to Thanksgiving practice. We talked to Seth Anderson, and he said, we got to the state semifinals last year, and we realistically felt like we were going to win that ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Middle Tennessee Christian said otherwise. 35-27 final. Middle Tennessee Christian goes on to win the state championship after beating Columbia Academy twice, 33-31 in triple overtime in the season opener, and again 35-27 in the state semifinals, ending their season a bit sooner than they expected. So, lost in last year's state semifinals to the eventual state champion. Lost earlier this year decisively to the team that you're getting ready to play in your first state championship game. 45-7 might be up in the locker room, but realistically, I'm not sure how much Seth Anderson has to do to get this team ready to play tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, business-like is the word I've used to describe Columbia Academy a number of times the last few weeks. It feels like they processed that loss and put it behind them, and they've kind of realized where they're at and realized their goals are still there for the taking. It almost, to me, feels like Nashville Christian just kind of happens to be the opponent that they got. I think Columbia Academy would still be as prepared, as ready, and as motivated, regardless of who the opponent was.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of so happens that also, now you have this revenge factor at play as well. It feels like Columbia Academy has been preparing for this moment. To your point, especially from the way last season ended, being so close, kind of tasting it, but also kind of seeing it slip through your fingertips. And that's what's been so fun for me to watch them kind of vanquish some of those memories from last year.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the Division 2A playoff bracket, because you'll see Nashville Christian has played one less game. Your three region champions, Jackson Christian out of the West, Nashville Christian out of the Middle region, and Friendship Christian out of the East, all drew byes to open playoff action. But as they work down, you've got two teams out of the Middle region meeting in the championship game. Again, Nashville Christian and Donaldson Christian. Nashville Christian and Columbia Academy. Nashville Christian got that bye in the opening round. They defeated then defending state champion Middle Tennessee Christian 50-27 in round two, and then went to Jackson Christian and won in shootout fashion 62-34 in the semifinals. Again, Columbia Academy had to play in the opener as the number 2 team out of the Middle region, defeated the Kings Academy 49-8, defeated Trinity Christian 56-21 in round 2, and then in the semifinals, again, defeated Donaldson Christian 47-13. So that's the road both of those teams have taken to Chattanooga. I don't know that Nashville Christian benefits from having played one less game, or at this point that it matters, but they did play one less game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know that it really matters at this point. If this were earlier in the postseason, maybe, but the fact is everybody practiced on Thanksgiving the same. Everybody ate their turkey the same, and everybody made it to Chattanooga the same to get ready for this big one. And both teams have put up explosive numbers in terms of their postseason run. You mentioned the 50 points and the 62 for Nashville Christian, but Columbia Academy, even going back to that loss, as ugly as that 7 points that you hung up versus Nashville Christian that night was, they haven't been held under 40 ever since. So, right. I mean, this CA offense and their defense kind of producing points as well has kind of been humming. And that's why I think this game is going to be so fascinating, because both teams appear to be playing some of their best ball of the entire season right now.
Columbia Academy is trending upward from the standpoint that over the course of the season, they have averaged 38.7 points. They've allowed 20.7 points over 13 games. Over this 5-game win streak, they have averaged 46.8 points. They have allowed 11.2 points. And in the postseason, they have averaged 50.7 points, and they've given up, 34, 42? They've given up 14 points. So a little bit of a tick up, but still trending downward is what they're doing in points allowed on defense. And as much as we've talked about the offensive side of the ball for Columbia Academy, defensively, they've gotten 24 sacks. They've had 19 interceptions. Now, they had 5 of those picks against DCA.
Right.
But 19 interceptions on the season. Again, the junior cornerback, Jackson Usherwood, who is also their punter and place kicker.
Why not, right? Just add a little more responsibility.
Sure. He had 3 of those picks against DCA. He's had 6 on the year. They have 5 guys with multiple interceptions. Again, Wyatt Ayers has 4. Linebacker Nixon Love has 3, and Mac Jackson and Harrison Brownlee have 2 apiece. Again, 19 total picks on the year. They've got 5 different players with double-digit tackles for loss. They've got 24 sacks, and a number of opposing coaches have really lauded their defensive line, because when those guys walk out on the field, they don't necessarily blow you away from a size standpoint. Their front 4 averages 6'1", 196. But what they lack in size, they make up in speed. Particularly Jack Gordon off of one defensive end. He's got 6 sacks. They've got a defensive tackle, J.R. Adkins, who has 5 sacks, 20 tackles for loss. Gordon has 25 tackles for loss. I mean, they are getting into the backfield and they are causing problems. And those guys probably have a lot to do with those 19 interceptions.
Absolutely. And I mean, that to me is the crux of the game, right? We know what Columbia Academy's offense can do, and you feel like potentially will do to some extent in this game. The question is, can you get any stops? Can you get any little bit of slowdown versus this equally, if not more so, impressive offense for Nashville Christian? If you can get that defensive line going and then maybe cause some pressure on Curtis to force an errant throw, maybe give a little freebie over to the defense, that to me is where you can win this game if you're CA.
Anytime you can get him off the field, it's going to be a plus.
No matter how you do it, right? Yeah, whether it's a turnover or a punt, perhaps.
Absolutely. Our predictions, we've done fairly well this season. We're going to get those up in just a second. There we go. I had both CA to defeat Donaldson Christian and, unfortunately, Richland to fall out at McKenzie, as did you. And so there's our season performance. The disparity in those numbers is because Wade recuses himself from picking Giles County typically.
Yeah, on the play-by-play. I was the analyst for the Richland game the other night, which was a little bit of a freaky phenomenon. I don't get in the analyst chair very often, but I said, you know what? I'll do it. And I was impressed with what Richland did, but it just unfortunately was not enough to beat McKenzie.
We got one last prediction for you here, obviously, because we would be remiss if we didn't tell you who we think is going to win this Division 2A championship matchup between Columbia Academy coming in at 10-3 and Nashville Christian at 11-1. I'll defer to you. Who you got?
Going to go with me first, then I'll tell you real quick. What I like about Nashville Christian is their ability to kind of just squash teams and kind of suffocate them at times. CA's kind of done the same thing, though. I feel like this game is going to be an absolute tussle. And to me, it's I truly believe that it's a classic coin flip. Whichever team shows up and plays just a little bit better on defense comes away and does that. And with all that being said, I think Nashville Christian has just enough little extra firepower to win this game. Something kind of like a 41-24 type situation, it feels like. I think Columbia Academy's got the goods, but I think when they have to start chasing the game a little more, things might get away from them. I think it'll be a much better effort than what we saw earlier this year. It won't be 45-7, but I do think Nashville Christian does come away with this victory.
I think it'll absolutely be a better performance for the Bulldogs this time around. You know, call me a homer if you will, but I think this is a Columbia Academy team that is really motivated going into this ball game tomorrow. I think Columbia Academy gets it done. I'm sure it'll be close because Nashville Christian is no joke. Jared Curtis is no joke, but these guys coming from Muletown aren't either. And I'm really looking forward to that ball game, the second game of the day tomorrow, following Battleground Academy and CPA. You saw round one of that one earlier this year. The nightcap will be in Division II 3A between Chattanooga Powers, Baylor, and McCallie. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a fun weekend down in Chattanooga. I'd encourage you to bundle up and go.
Yeah, a 3-day football frenzy is kind of what we have on tap here. It's the best time of the year. This is what you've worked for all year. The best of the best. There's been some really good teams that don't make it to Chattanooga, right? There's been some phenomenal teams that for whatever reason, year in, year out, don't make it. So the fact that you do make it is worthy of being celebrated, and the teams that come away with these victories will be worthy champions.
Without question. That's going to do it here for the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show, presented by 10 Pin Alley, Eat, Play, Party, and by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. That's Wade Neely. I'm Maurice Patton. We'll talk to y'all soon.
This is the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show with your hosts, Maurice Patton and Wade Neely. Proudly presented each week by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans, don't let fans drive drunk.